Hello, intactivists. So I try to be as transparent as possible with you guys, and I've been doing this from the start. I think communication with you guys is very important. So I made this roadmap, if you will, of what we will be doing if we make certain amounts of money and what to expect. Now, keep in mind, this is written in pencil and it can change because we don't know the future, to be exact. I have really smart people helping pots out, and sometimes things come along that are better and that you don't expect, and we have to be flexible and adjust to it. And if you guys have any ideas on how to make this better, please let us know. We're definitely open to ideas. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to accept your idea, but there are lots of ideas that we have taken from other people that have offered it to us that were really good. So don't feel bad if you give us an idea and we're like, no, we don't want to do that. It's just part of the process of asking. All right, so let's just jump right into this. So if Potts makes $10,000, this covers Potts' bare bones functions. So this is pretty much $10,000 or less, because if we make less than $10,000, Potts' team is going to cover up to $10,000. And this benefits you guys a lot. The intactivist benefits for this are interviews, Potts news, video specials, meetings, etc. We actually have a video called the 12 benefits of Potts. You can easily go and check that on our YouTube, and you'll be able to see the benefits of Potts. And this is pretty much what the $10,000 a year covers. So at $15,000 a year, Potts can fully function, right? Pay all the bills, and we can run a cyber protest slash circumcision bad ad campaign for 1 quarter, reaching at least 1 million people. So currently, Potts is operating at about the $15,000 level. The next level is at $25,000. Potts can cover the cyber protesting all year long. We can reach about 5 million plus people a year. Keep in mind, these are pretty conservative numbers. And also, we can pay for more contracted work with individual intactivists and groups up to $500 a year. The pace will pick up dramatically from here, because once we hit $25,000, guys, we are constantly going to be doing Potts' stuff. And the cost to do a cyber protest all year long is about $14,000. And in the later stages of this tier, we will be getting a website that is just for Potts. And I know we've been straying away from getting our own website because me personally, I feel like there is no need to get a website. But now that I've been doing this for a minute, it does add credibility, and it's going to open up the opportunities to work with other big companies, because we've been working with quite a bit of companies and they do ask for websites. So this would really help if we got one. But this would be at like the, $25,000 level, but like a little later on, maybe like $40,000. We're definitely going to get a website. But moving on to the $50,000 a year. Now, Potts would be projected to be the largest intactivist group on social media. If we made $50,000 a year, guys, think about that. We would be the largest intactivist group. We would reach about 10 plus million people every single year that circumcision is bad. Gatekeepers would be no more. We would be the gatekeepers, honestly, and that would be left wide open. New intactivist groups would get exposure much faster through the Potts' intactivist news. Potts is definitely, at this point, the centralized group for intactivism. Smaller groups would be getting fully funded by Potts. Like, we're talking Hoodie by Nature, Intact Again podcast, No Circ Michigan, Cockfight USA, Intact Africa, etc., via mergers or sponsorships from Potts. We would also be incentivizing people to use the CLR method, as I call it, like, for example, $100 per website where you get the AAP statement removed that the benefits outweigh the risk for circumcision, because we are a pretty firm believer in the CLR method. And also, if we do see that you are changing high potential targets like medical staff and medical institutions and how they conduct themselves with circumcision, we would be incentivizing that per result there. Now, keep in mind, $100 is just a number we threw out. It might be more, it might be less, but we would love to start backing that up. Now, granted, this is at the $50,000 a year range right now, because I do understand that, hey, intactivists need to get paid too, right? And if you notice that POTS is okay with paying for other intactivist groups to grow. Like, POTS does not want to be only getting the donations, right? Like, yes, what POTS does is great for intactivism, and it does help intactivists. But what we want to do is we want to take other groups that are also very dedicated and just need a little bit of, gas in the tank to get them running. We want those guys to run effectively as well. So we are A-okay to fund other intactivist groups. But first, we have to make sure that we ourselves are good as a business. And keep in mind, guys, this is only $50,000 a year. It might sound like a lot, but it's really not. And keep in mind, guys, POTS really does not want to go ahead and make money and then have to pay taxes. That's really not the reason why we started this business. We don't want to make money. We're not trying to give Uncle Sam 25% of what we make. So for most years, we're going to go and try and spend as much as possible and get it down to zero or even negative. So like this year, we're going to go negative. So like if we get $50,000 in a year, we're going to be spending $50,000 that year or more. Now, the next level is $100,000 a year. Now, when we hit this, we can sponsor one big case like Health Equality Campaign that Anthony Squadro runs, or Intact Global, what Eric Klopper runs, along with everything said previously. All the people we need doing the POTS e-commerce program to make $100,000 a year is approximately 1,000 people to hit this goal. Like, think about that. If 1,000 of you guys, that we got over 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, if you learned how to do the POTS e-commerce program and you started today, you would not need to donate to us. You would not need to do the care buzz. Like, even if we got monetized on YouTube, Facebook, and X, wouldn't even matter. Because just alone, 1,000 people doing the POTS e-commerce program would get us to $100K a year. No extra money. And we would be helping out so many groups if that's the case. And also, once we hit $100,000 a year, a new PAN tier will be made. Now, granted, I told the PANs already, look, they're grandfathered into it. And if you go ahead and become a PAN member now, you'll be grandfathered into this. But the buy-in for PANs is going to be $500 because the PANs, which are essentially POTS's financial backers, will have major influence on where money is going to grow POTS and to help intactivism. So we're going to have to up it from, I think it's like $10 to be a PANs or something like that. It's really cheap right now. All right, so at $250,000 a year, now we can finally get intactivism to have airtime. We're talking a 30-second TV ad, hopefully using doctors opposing circumcision, if they are still around and well and alive. The average cost of putting an ad on national television is $342,000. However, since I'm not using paid actors, I'm using doc, that should save POTS about $150,000 because they should be doing it for free. I mean, they are a nonprofit. Or very cheaply, like hopefully $500 each. That would be fine. And if the total ad came out to be more, I'll use the business credit card if I have to. And I'll just have to eat that cost. But finally, though, intactivism is getting the attention it deserves. This would definitely be the highlight of POTS's career, even though the commercial would only have like 5 seconds about POTS at the end. And the only reason why is because POTS has people to answer to, right? We all have bosses. We all have to answer to somebody. And it has to be an ad about POTS somewhere. Everything else will be circumcision is bad in the ad, which is why we're having Doc explain why circumcision needs to end. Like, that would be perfect. Having doctors tell the public, hey, we don't think this is a good idea. We need to stop this, and we're legit doctors. Also, at this point, POTS will be getting paid about $20,000 a year, like in a paycheck, or whatever the IRS minimum is. Plus, we're turning this into an S corporation. After the commercial airs, we shall examine the results, because the negative side of this is that we would have to gut the cyber protesting and the help we gave other groups at this point to make this landmark goal happen. If the commercial turns out bad, we will go back to cyber protesting and funding intactivist efforts. We will definitely go ahead and not do that every single year. We'll definitely evaluate how effective that was. Now, the next benchmark for this is $500,000 a year. Now, either HEC, which is Health Equality Campaign, is fully funded for the year, like completely funded by POTS, or Intact Global would be fully funded by Purveyor of the System. Now, this depends on which benefits intactivism and POTS the most. The other one will have at least one case funded through the year. No Cirque Michigan and protesting groups, if they're still around and they play nice in the sandbox, is going to be fully funded by our sponsorships. Now, I understand that No Cirque Michigan doesn't need any more money. Like, money's not a problem, especially if you go ahead and watch his Norm's interview. But I do think it would be super awesome if Norm could go and spread out and get other states involved and have state chapters like he talked about in his interview. Also, I would be hiring POTS e-commerce workers, because trust me, at $500,000, we would need to hire POTS e-commerce workers, because we would be getting orders constantly all the time. It would be ridiculous. Like, we're talking 24/7, instantly filling orders. It would be a lot. I'd probably contract just a bunch of intactivists to go ahead and do it. So I know I said full-time workers, but they're going to be contractors, plus a national TV ad once a year, along with cyber campaigns. So essentially, everything we talked about at the $500,000 level, everyone is, like, POTS is definitely full swing here. Intactivism total is like full swing, and that's only with $500,000. Because keep in mind, guys, POTS is getting such a tiny paycheck from this. Like, the paycheck is not what's important. We're not worried about the paycheck at all. Now, if we get $1 million plus, this is the final benchmark, I promise. At this point, intactivism is an internet sensation, a worldwide sensation, with POTS and the other intactivists reaching hundreds of millions of people, with most of intactivism being united while circumcision rates are plummeting. And if you think that it's going to be really difficult for POTS to hit $1 million, you should definitely go ahead, check this out right here. Intactivist Company sleeps on $500,000 a year, because we talk about if we had the following of the Bloodstained Men's Facebook boasting 52,000 followers, but on our YouTube, we break it all down. It says that POTS could potentially gross over $2.5 million annually. Annually, $2.5 million. So we could easily hit $1 million. Like, that's not difficult. And that would all just be going towards intactivism things. And again, we will only contract people up to $600, not hire them. We don't want to talk about raises, benefits, and things that take away money from the intactivist movement. Also, everyone currently that works at POTS/with POTS has worked for free and spent loads of money into this movement, especially if they work at POTS. So everyone at POTS has been spending quite a bit of money to get this up and running. And we intend to keep that spirit. I personally work 3 other jobs anyways, so I don't need the money, right? If anything, it's like a time thing. But it's okay. I'll make time for this, I promise. And honestly, I could probably not work that many jobs. That'd be great. So when I say giving $600 maximum, that is towards individuals, not towards companies, obviously, because how would we be able to fully fund a intactivist company's objective or case or fund them more? But they would have to do a work contract for $20,000 or $30,000 or whatever it would be, just to clarify that point. So this is how we will be the best intactivist group in the world and end routine infant circumcision. So if you guys have anything to add, like I said, please let me know. This is all written in pencil. I think this is really easy. I think that this is definitely possible. Once again, guys, we're not trying to take your money. That's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to work with other companies. So please, guys, if you're an intactivist and you care about ending routine infant circumcision, go join our Discord. Go learn how you can help this movement for free, because you're not just helping POTS, you're going to be helping a whole bunch of other groups. And who knows, like there's going to be groups in the future that we have no idea about, that because of POTS, they're going to get the credibility that they need and even funding. Like Hoodie by Nature, for instance, like they're so new, but yet they're getting so much funding. And that's super awesome. And that's because POTS has covered them in the news. And, you know, I feel like without POTS, you guys would not know about this to even fund them. And they're going to do great things, hopefully. And I can't wait for that. And yeah, so point being though is, guys, is that POTS is growing. We are making a change, and hopefully we just keep on growing. And if you guys want to donate and become a PANS, I recommend you guys do that now versus like 2 years from now, because I don't know, we could be making $100,000 in 2 years. I'm not sure, but we'll see. But this is kind of like the tier list. We'll see what ends up happening. So guys, thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. And also, you know, like to get this out to more people, and subscribe so you don't miss updates from us. All right, guys, have a great one. Bye. No fear, no fiction. Truth in transmission. Prevail over the system. Our vision's the difference.